Senator Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you again.
Thank you for meeting with me.
In 2024, following an OFCCP evaluation, one of the largest global financial service companies agreed to allocate $4.2 million in payments to resolve alleged sex discrimination and undergo an outside pay equity analysis. In his first week in office, President Trump rescinded the executive order from 1965 that authorized OFCCP to conduct that investigation. Commissioner Sonderling, do you believe that taxpayer dollars should go to companies that discriminate?
Senator, first of all, thank you for the question and for meeting with me. You have been, throughout my time in government, I've enjoyed working with you, both in my prior nomination and this nomination. Regarding the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Procedures at the Department of Labor, President Trump did rescind Executive Order 11246, which was the jurisdictional basis for that. However, not a single U.S. worker has lost any civil protection rights because of that rescission.
Well, my question wasn't that.
Title VII.
I wanted to ask you, do you think that taxpayer dollars should go to companies that discriminate?
Senator, that is not a determination that the Deputy Secretary of Labor or the Department of Labor
You don't want to answer the
deals
question.
with. There's a jurisdictional issue now at the Department of Labor where that executive order is no longer there. But as I committed to you before, the Department of Labor will still completely and fully enforce the laws remaining.
I don't think the taxpayer dollars should go to companies that discriminate. I can easily say that. Let me go on. In our meeting, you suggested that Department of Labor is looking at eliminating OFCCP entirely, even though it has recovered now more than $260 million for more than 250,000 employees and job applicants who were discriminated against by federal contractors over the last decade. And OFCCP just today announced plans to cut 90% of its staff and dozens of local offices. So let me ask you this. Do you think DoL has any role to play in addressing illegal discrimination?
First of all, Senator, I'm not aware of that report. And we did discuss about how we can move forward with the rescission of the executive order and still enforce the the Vietnam-era Readjustment Assistance Act and also 503 of the Rehabilitation Act, which are still laws that the Department of Labor, civil rights laws that the Department of Labor have to enforce.
I'm just asking you from your own philosophical, personal position, do you think that DoL, which you want to go to work for, has any role in playing to play in addressing discrimination in this country?
Well,
or not? Do you think DoL should?
Of course, DoL is the most important agency, in my humble opinion, related to all workplace rights. However, the specific question is related to discrimination, which now is the full jurisdiction of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission under Title VII. And
well,
well,
it's interesting that you say that because Trump fired two of the EEOC commissioners in an unprecedented move, I would add. So it really has undermined our government's ability to go after anti-discrimination. So I am, and everyone should be deeply concerned about that. Let me go on because I just have a minute left, and this is important. We're hearing a lot about DEI. It's thrown out there everywhere. So I'm going to ask about some bipartisan laws passed by Congress that were passed to make sure that underserved Americans can receive workforce training and find good employment opportunities. And I want to know if the policies in these laws that I'm going to present to you amount to DEI. The Office of Disability Employment Policy has been statutorily authorized with, I'm going to quote, eliminating barriers to the training and employment of people with disabilities. Is that DEI? Yes or no?
it is important to protect all rights of disabled workers, and, under my leadership, the Office of Disability Employment will continue to do that.
So that is not DEI?
That is a civil rights statute that the department enforces to make sure disabled people can
I know you know what it is, but I'm asking if it's DEI because, you know, it's very confusing. How about the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA? It specifically, quote, says individuals with a barrier to employment and requires grantees to expand training to those individuals. Is that DEI?
WEO is a very important law, as everyone in this room
Well,
has worked
do you
on.
consider that to be DEI?
I
I'm just
consider
trying to
that
step-
to be a very important part of the department's mission to make sure that American workers
you
can,
would say that's not
can get the
DEI.
training they need.
Is the Vietnam-era Veterans Readjustment Assistance Act of 1974 requires federal contractors to take affirmative action to hire, retain, and promote veterans. Is that DEI?
It is important to protect all of our veterans. It's important to protect everybody in the workplace.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I know you're pounding your gavel, but I just think it's pretty clear that there is no standard definition of DEI across our federal government. We should be very careful what we are saying and putting out there in the public.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr.